Welcome! It has been a while. Today I want to talk a bit about the current situation in Battlefield Play4Free, and perhaps also a bit about why I haven't uploaded any videos recently. Well, simply, it's lack of motivation to play the game, and as a consequence also lack of motivation to make any video content. So first of all, by now all my soldiers are level 30, so in terms of levels, there's nothing more to grind for. By now, I also have finished buying the, the remaining training points for credits, so in terms of credits, there's also nothing more to grind for, since there aren't any weapons, which I would need at this point in time. That was a crap beginning, but anyway, let's continue. What else is there to do? I guess playing for fun. Well, the game in its current situation is no fun for me. For example, +3 weapons, or pistols doing crap damage for body shots. I know I have mentioned that before, and that are, I guess, just my problems. And not just as a side info, I would take a MG36 +3 over an LZ any day of the week, because in combination with Piranha magazines, a guaranteed 4-shot kill on all targets is better than just a 93% chance. So much for that. But there are also some problems that are undoubtedly affecting everyone. For example, just recently in the collection of bugs, soldier class switch bug. So when you have several soldiers on one account and you want to switch, it can take, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes or something. I haven't checked recently because, as I mentioned, I don't play the game at the moment. So quite ridiculous. And it's not just all the issues I have with the game and the bugs and whatever, it's also the total lack of care of the studio behind the game, the representatives. And perhaps not as important, but equally as fitting, is the spam on the forums. I mean, of course, forums are not really that important. Most of the time it's just useless topics anyway, but those spam bots are haunting the forums for I don't know how many weeks, and yeah, there was a representative. Yeah, we need to improve our countermeasures, blah blah blah. And did anything happen? No. Just fits how the game is handled on a total at the moment. And yeah, those issues, plus the bugs, plus the total lack of care, is what makes me not play the game at the moment, and also not producing any videos for it. And even funnier, it's not going to get better anytime soon. The last statement that we had is no changes for Play4Free planned in the near future. And perhaps it even means no changes planned at all forever. Right now, the game pretty much feels dead. Of course, you can still play the game, you can still go into a server, there are still protected servers and all that, but there's no progress, it's stagnating, and it's really an unhealthy situation. Okay, maybe they still attract new players who spend money and keep the game running, but this game really doesn't provide anything for players to stay around for a longer time. Just as a side note, for example, there's absolutely no clan support. You have a section in the forum where you can present your clan, and That's basically it. No officially hosted tournaments with prizes or any clan specific game modes. Nothing. Nothing. And what else is there to be mentioned? I don't know. Perhaps, for example, lack of anti-cheat protection. I mean, the representatives and the studio does nothing against it. They can be happy that T4G Blacklist is around because that is quite effective for what it's worth. So, just another example of where they simply let the community deal with the problem and actually can't be bothered to do anything themselves. And as for in-game content, there's actually quite a bit of something that you can do. For example, field repair vehicle, the engineer skill which allows you to repair other vehicles while driving a vehicle yourself, only works up to a radius of 10 meters, which is pretty much hilarious in a bad way because you basically have to hack other vehicles for the skill to work. By simply changing the number in the file from 10 to 25, so it would be 25 meters, you would make the skill much more viable and enjoyable to use. So simply changing the number. And in the same way you could also change some buttons that could still use tweaking. So you could do something for the game and it wouldn't even take much effort. But even that is not going to happen. And that, combined with the attitude of the studio and the representatives, is what makes it so frustrating. Did I pronounce it right? I guess not. Frustrating. So yeah, that is what's up at the moment. Now, I might still make some videos, especially when it doesn't actually require any in-game footage, or I might use some footage which I already have recorded. But unless there are major changes within the game to make it more interesting again, there won't be many videos from my side. So that's the status quo, and I can only hope that you can understand that situation. And as a last note, since I made a tutorial about that, I guess it would be only fair to give out a warning / hint. GGC now bans for the no grass modification. Now I guess what they are able to do is, like, when they receive a screenshot, Punkbuster screenshot, they actually would take a look and see if your no grass is legal or illegal. So whether if you are playing on low or super low or medium or high, I guess they would be able to detect it, and perhaps they also have other methods of detection. So decide for yourself if you want to keep using it or not, if you even use it at all. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening, and see you soon, or not so soon, depending on how things turn out. Goodbye.